This is the coastal flatlands. It's gone. And its refugees fled 30 kilometers north to an empty paradise full of potential named the Azure Gulf, featuring a stunning large coastline, winding rivers, interesting landscapes, and surprisingly pre-established infrastructure. This area will become a new city home to residents currently fleeing from the coastal flatlands. So, grab your favorite cup of tea and leave an emoji representing your excitement on this new series for the sake of engagement. Let's get started. But yeah, welcome to Azure Gulf, a very flat map as you can see. There's not much topography from the looks of it, but I did look around and I found some hills at the very edge of the tile, so I guess you've got that. But apart from that, it's a very flat and buildable map. I mean, later on we can add our own hills and stuff like that, but for now we got to focus on our starting tile. And actually our starting tile is very interesting because at the start we have a train line that passes through the entire tile, basically like cutting it in half effectively. And alongside that we have two major highway intersections here, one that goes directly to the coastline and another one that just goes from east to west. But yeah, as with all cities, you start out with looking for natural resources, and currently there's a lot of arable land, and I think there's oil in this coastline, so we could use this for some sort of major harbor if we really wanted to. But yeah, apart from that, it looks like there's just oil. Is it ore or is it like fish? It's fish. It's fish. And ore, which is located at the very edges of the map. But in our starting tile, we even have oil. We also got to check for wind direction, so let's just go check that now if I'm right. Air pollution. And all the air or all the wind is going in the westerly direction. So that just means we have to build our industrial area, or at least our early industrial area, probably right over here, and maybe here as well if we have to expand, leaving the city area to be right here, which is perfect because that's exactly how I planned it. I mean, but since we're starting out very small, there is no need to actually make a major interchange. So therefore, we could just deal with this weird looking intersection, which has 8 traffic lights. If only I had mods, I would make this like a super junction or something like that, so there would only be like 4 major traffic lights, but no worries, we just gotta extend through here. And we've run into our first problem, which is this major train intersection. I'm not too sure whether I like it at grade level with the train line, but we could fix it. We could fix it. It's not very realistic to have a major train line intersect with a road because it is quite dangerous. It is very dangerous because if cars can recklessly go through the intersection, which can cause crashes to trains and derail them. So we are just gonna go with a bridge at a angle that is at a very nice smooth 3% grading. Now that is nice. We're gonna do the exact same to the other side. That genuinely looks really nice. And as for this coastline, I really want to respect it. Respect the topography because it makes natural looking cities. So in this instance, I am going to just utilize the 4-lane road again and just gradually follow the topography very carefully, not overstepping on the white lines that are around the edges of the entire area. And we could just easily connect this up like this here. And since I really do like roundabouts, we're just gonna put a really tiny roundabout right here. So then cars that come right off the bridge, they're probably going really quick. They need something to show that they need to slow down, which this roundabout is here for. But anyways, I want to talk about grid sizes. Now, I've actually tested out the different types of grids in different save files, and the one grid that I actually liked the best was this grid, which is a grid that goes 200 meters by 200 meters. Now, you might ask, why did I decide on such a massive plot size? And simply, it's because so 200 by 200 sounds perfectly reasonable. So I guess we're gonna just plaster this around like here, like so. Alright, we've encountered a bit of a problem, which my road over here is touching the water, which is bad. But no worries. We need to respect the topography, so I will compromise by going 120 maybe. Here by 120. And then using the curve tool to connect it up. Like so. Now, for the rest of this area, I'm just gonna do the exact same thing. Yep, this looks like the perfect starter grid, so I guess it's time for me to start zoning it in with starting with some really low density North American housing, which I will just place around the area. Oh wait, but first we gotta handle electricity and water, so I guess I'll put the water station right over, place it right over here, and we'll obviously connect it up to the road network as well, and the pipe network. I'll extend this road out just temporarily. There we go. And we will also place the sewage outlet maybe in this corner over here. And as for the industrial area, we'll do the exact same thing here. 200 by 200, and this time maybe I'll put the collector road right at the edge of the zoning, because I want to maximize the amount of space here. Oh, and in regards to electricity is also very important. We'll place the power plant, the small coal power plant, right over here, and we'll easily connect it up to the main grid, just like so. This is the perfect start to the industrial area as well. So we've got our commercial, which will be located along the main collector right over here, because I want all businesses to be collected here in a very car-centric city, and I want this area to be a very car-centric area, so I'll just place all the commercial along this corridor. And as for our industry, we can just zone in this entire thing. Currently, we already have demand for medium density row housing. I have alleys. The reason why I separated these entire blocks into 200 by 200 is because it makes perfect alley spaces. And in the middle, we can put some medium density housing, because I really don't want to destroy the houses that are already established here. I don't want to call a mulligan on all those houses. That'll be very bad and terrible. Oh my lord, we've also got problems in water. I definitely forgot to connect the main water system all the way here, so I'll just do that now. And since we had extra demand for the residential area, which is also coming back, I added 2 more blocks worth of residential blocks. But I think we need to continue expanding as quickly as possible, because we are currently losing crap tons of money. So I guess it's time for massive expansion. And again, I do not want to touch the train line, because that is a very important line, and I do not want to interfere with it by adding an intersection and probably causing massive amounts of traffic. And I can't even do it anyway, since there's something overlapping. But yeah, this city looks like it's coming together really well. We still have problems with hearses and dead people coming in, so I guess it's time to establish a cemetery. And since we have such a huge lot size, we can easily just plop it down anywhere and it'll fit quite perfectly, actually. And we also gotta... I don't like it how that's not really sent on the edge there. There we go. Perfect. We still have huge amounts of problems with the lack of labor, and I'm not too sure why, since we have ample amounts of labor. It looks like we're already running out of space. I guess it's time for me to expand over here, but I have different plans for this area, so I'm not too sure about expanding that way. I'm not too sure about expanding this way either, because that costs, like, what? 384,000, and we only have 600,000 money. The only place I could actually expand to is the river. Damming projects were essential in everyday life. It was like New York was a damming project. Everyone did damming projects. Netherlands, like the place where every urban planner loves to be in, did did damming situations. So it shouldn't be that much different if we did it too, would it? Changing the topography also allows us to add a bit of history to the entire land, showcasing that this road used to be the coastline, but it was then expanded across from the river to connect with mainly this side of the river and some islands to make room for houses, more houses. And that is very interesting. That just adds a lot to the entire vibe of the place and also makes it more meaningful. A bit of expansion later and we finally are getting somewhere quite nicely with our city here. But I do have a problem. The poo area or the sewage pipe has actually ruined the color of the land, and I'm scared that this type of brownish color is gonna ruin the entire feng shui of the entire area. So I think it's time to actually start planning a proper place to put the sewage treatment plant, because I don't want it potentially polluting this entire riverbed or the entire coastline bit, causing the city looking quite ugly. So with this newly reclaimed land over here, creating a land bridge basically, we should make maybe a little something that'll help center this place as a major landmark of the entire world. Trust me on this, I know what I'm doing. Is that tall enough? Oh, maybe a bit taller. That is perfect. Now we can relocate this sewage treatment plant up here, because I assure you, I really don't want any of the sewage affecting this entire shoreline and coastline. So I guess I'll have to place it right over here. See, we're respecting the topography of the area by understanding that this is a very steep area to be building in. So therefore, I will continue to respect the topography. Oh boy, what the fuck is that? What's that? What is that? What's coming out of the entire hill? What is that? Is that the river? Is that the overflow from the river? And done. We've got a semi-road connection up there. But in other words, the entire town got flooded by, I think, the leftover river water that's usurped from the ground. But we do need a landfill, so I'll build a landfill right now. And this landfill will be built right over here. Unfortunately, since I really do want to connect these two hills together, I think, and prevent a major overflow of the sewage treatment area, I think I have to call a mulligan on this entire highway, so I guess I'll have to do this. Oh, I feel so bad. I feel terrible for doing this. I feel terrible for disconnecting that highway altogether, but you know, it's necessary. But yeah, we did a lot in this episode. We made a garbage area alongside a dedicated poop sewage area. Alongside that, we established a nice little coastline city. And we've also established one of our own landmarks, which is a massive mountain, that has various glitchy waterfalls that are falling around from it. And the houses down below are really appreciating this natural wonder because they can view at this massive behemoth of a landscape area. But anyways, I'll cut to some final cinematic videos just to show off what we've done today. If you liked this video, please feel free to subscribe and like, and leave a comment on whether you liked the video or not and what I should do to improve.